It is the undisputed icon of the American summer, a fruit that is 92% water, yet 100% flavor. For centuries, the watermelon was a treat reserved for backyard picnics and roadside stands, a fragile giant that defied industrialization. But today, thanks to a revolution in agricultural science and high-pressure engineering, this backyard favorite has been tamed, captured, and bottled. How do you turn a 20-pound fruit with a thick rind into a premium shelf-stable beverage without boiling away its delicate soul? It requires a cold chain that never breaks, genetics that defy nature, and a factory capable of exerting pressure equal to the bottom of the deepest ocean. Welcome to the Mega Factory. The journey of premium juice begins long before the harvest. It begins in the laboratory. The watermelon, Citrus lanatus, is native to the Kalahari Desert of Africa. But the melons growing here in the American South are a far cry from their wild ancestors. They are the product of rigorous genetic selection. For the juice industry, the holy grail is the seedless watermelon. Seeds are bitter. They contain tannins that can ruin the flavor profile of a raw juice. To create a seedless melon, scientists perform a botanical magic trick. They cross a standard watermelon with one whose chromosome count has been doubled. The resulting offspring is a triploid, a sterile mule of the plant world. It focuses all its energy not on reproduction, but on producing sugar. But nature is stubborn. Because these sterile plants are sterile, they cannot pollinate themselves. Farmers must plant pollinator rows, standard seeded melons interspersed among the premium crop, to produce the pollen that bees will carry to the sterile flowers. It is a complex biological puzzle requiring precise ratios of one pollinator for every 3 seedless plants. Scene 2. The growing season. Watermelons are hungry giants. To fuel their explosive growth, the fields are lined with plasticulture, raised beds covered in black plastic mulch. This serves a dual purpose. It warms the soil to extend the growing season and prevents weeds from stealing nutrients. Beneath the plastic runs the lifeline of the farm, the drip tape. In modern precision agriculture, water is never wasted. Computer-controlled fertigation systems inject precise cocktails of nitrogen, potassium, and magnesium directly into the root zone. Sensors buried in the soil transmit real-time moisture data to the farm manager's tablet, ensuring the vines receive exactly what they need, no more, no less.
As the fruit swells, the sugar loading phase begins. The plant pumps sucrose and fructose into the flesh. Simultaneously, it synthesizes lycopene, the powerful antioxidant responsible for the watermelon's signature red hue. In fact, watermelons contain more lycopene by weight than raw tomatoes. This isn't just color, it's the nutritional payload the premium juice market demands. Scene 3. The art of the harvest. Unlike oranges or wheat, the watermelon harvest resists automation. The fruit is heavy, fragile, and grows on the ground. There is no machine gentle enough to pluck a 20-pound melon without shattering it. The harvest is a manual labor of immense scale. It starts with the cutters. These are the elite veterans of the field. They judge ripeness not by technology, but by intuition honed over decades. They look for the drying of the tendril nearest the fruit. They check the ground spot. It must be a creamy yellow, not white. And occasionally they use the thump test, listening for a hollow tenor resonance that indicates crispness. A dull thud means the melon is overripe and mushy, useless for premium juice. Once cut, the pitching crew moves in. In a display of rhythm and strength, workers form a human conveyor belt, tossing the heavy fruit from hand to hand until it reaches the field bins. A single worker might lift and toss 10 tons of fruit in a single shift. Scene 4. The bricks test and quality control. Before a truck can leave the farm, the lot must be certified. The supervisor performs a random bricks test. premium juice requires a Brix level, a measure of sugar content, of at least 10 to 12 degrees. Anything less and the juice will taste watery. Anything more and it risks fermentation. Once approved, the race against time begins. Watermelon is a climacteric fruit. It does not continue to ripen significantly after harvest, but it does begin to degrade. The internal temperature of a melon sitting in the Georgia sun can reach 100 degrees Fahrenheit. This field heat is the enemy. Scene 5. The cold chain begins. The truck arrives at a hydro-cooling station. Giant showers of ice water raining down on the bins, or the melons are submerged in chilled flumes. This process rapidly pulls the core temperature down from 90 degrees to 45 degrees in a matter of hours. This pre-cooling step is non-negotiable. It stabilizes the cell structure, preserving the crisp texture and preventing the cooked flavor that ruins lesser juices. Only now, chilled and dormant, are the melons ready for the long haul to the processing plant. Semi-trucks merging onto the interstate at sunset, drone shot following them. Logistics coordinators track these trucks via GPS, synchronizing their arrival with the factory's production schedule. They are hauling not just fruit, but thousands of gallons of potential water, wrapped in a green rind, barreling down the highway at 65 miles per hour.
Chapter 2. Factory Processing and Packaging. Approximately 18 minutes. Scene 6. Intake and the Violent Wash. Interior of the mega factory. Bright clinical LED lighting. Stainless steel everywhere. The truck docks. Forklifts offload massive cardboard bins. The mega factory is a fortress of hygiene. As the melons arrive, they enter the high care zone. The first step is to strip away the dirt of the field. Visual. Bins tipping melons into a massive water flume. The melons bob and float, moving downstream. The fruit is dumped into a turbulent flume system. Watermelons are naturally buoyant, which makes them easy to transport via water. But this is no lazy river. The water is treated with ozone or a mild chlorine dioxide solution to sterilize the exterior rind. Visual. Melons moving under rotating bristle brushes, high-pressure nozzles blasting the surface. They pass through the scrubber, a tunnel of stiff, rotating brushes and high-pressure jets. Since the rind touches the crushing equipment, it must be surgically clean. Any trace of soil could introduce pathogens like Salmonella or Listeria into the juice. Scene 7. Extraction. The cold press. Visual. The clean melons rolling up a conveyor into the chopping machine. Large stainless steel blades chopping the whole fruit into chunks. Unlike oranges, which are reamed, watermelons are processed whole. First, a massive industrial chopper reduces the 20-pound fruit, rind and all, into manageably sized chunks. This slurry is fed into the cold press. Traditional high-speed centrifuges create heat, which destroys the delicate flavor compounds of watermelon. Instead, this facility uses a belt press. The fruit is gently sandwiched between two tensioned mesh belts. Close-up slow motion, the red juice weeping out of the mash, flowing into a catch pan. The dry rind, green and white, falling off the end. The pressure increases gradually, gently milking the juice from the cells. This method extracts the liquid without crushing the bitter seeds or releasing the earthy taste of the rind. The result is a vibrant ruby red liquid, raw, unpasteurized, and teeming with enzymes. Visual. The leftover rind, or pomace, moving to a separate shoot. The solid waste, the rind and seeds, is not discarded. In a sustainable loop, it is often diverted to local farms as nutrient-dense cattle feed, or processed further to extract citrulline, an amino acid sold as a workout supplement. In the mega factory, efficiency is the rule. Scene 8. Filtration and the settling challenge. Visual. The raw juice flowing through transparent pipes. It looks cloudy. Raw watermelon juice has a natural tendency to settle. The heavy pulp sinks, leaving a clear liquid on top. To create a consistent premium product, the juice passes through a decanter centrifuge. Visual. A horizontal centrifuge spinning. Animation showing solids being ejected. This machine spins at precise speeds to remove the heavier starch particles and any microscopic seed fragments, while retaining the light red pulp that gives the juice its mouthfeel. It is a delicate balance. Remove too much and it tastes like colored water. Remove too little and it becomes gritty.
Now comes the most critical step. In traditional canning, juice is boiled to kill bacteria, but boiling watermelon juice turns it brown and makes it taste like pumpkin. To preserve the fresh, raw taste while ensuring safety, this factory uses physics, not heat. This is HPP, high-pressure processing. It is a cold pasteurization technique. Once the vessel is sealed, it is flooded with cold water. Enormous pumps begin to pressurize the chamber. The pressure climbs to a staggering 87,000 pounds per square inch. To put that in perspective, it is 6 times the pressure found at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the ocean. Under this crushing force, the cell walls of harmful bacteria and spoilage organisms simply collapse. They are destroyed instantly. However, the smaller molecules that make up vitamins, enzymes, and flavor compounds are unaffected. After 3 minutes, the pressure is released. The juice is now sterile, yet effectively raw. Because the juice was bottled before processing, there is no risk of recontamination. The bottles are dried and sent to the labeling line. Here, the premium branding is applied. The HPP seal is a badge of honor in the industry, signaling a product that commands a higher price point due to the expensive technology required to create it. Robotic arms palletizing the cases, forklifts rushing them to the cold storage warehouse. The clock is still ticking. Even with HPP, premium watermelon juice requires constant refrigeration. The finished pallets are rushed to a warehouse kept at a strict 38 degrees Fahrenheit. From here, the cold chain extends to distribution centers and grocery stores across the nation. The goal is to have the juice on the shelf within days of the harvest, capturing a fleeting moment of summer freshness in a bottle. It is a marvel of modern food science. We have taken a fruit that is notorious for spoiling quickly, a fruit that is difficult to handle and impossible to cook, and transformed it into a staple of the premium beverage market. Inside the mega factory, the brute force of industry meets the delicate biology of nature. The result is more than just juice. It is the pure, unadulterated essence of the harvest, preserved by pressure, delivered by logistics, and enjoyed one glass at a time.